we are joined by a fantastic guest today, and we're excited to get started.
Yeah, so this is Shai. He'll tell you more about himself. I actually had the privilege of interning at his company, and it was great and amazing. And I'm planning on going back as well in the winter to help out.
Did everyone sign?
Yes.
I'm sorry about
that. No.
that.
Yeah, that was just going to be the next one. The sign-in sheet is going around. If you could just please sign your initials just so we know that you're here. And yeah, and thank you for coming. We're very excited to continue this. Yeah. Do you want to? Yeah, without further ado, Shai, you introduce yourself. Oh, yeah, because...
Sure, my name's Shai Pahlevani. I'm excited to be here. I hope to be able to share my startup journey with you guys and hope to inspire you guys. Someone in similar age, someone that kind of looks like you guys. Hopefully you guys can relate and hopefully you guys learn something from me. And if I share anything that's not good, I apologize in advance. That's why you guys go to school and you learn from people who know best. But happy to share my experience. So I think the workshop today is marketing. I'll give a quick background about the 2 startups I've started, and then I'll share things I've learned from both those startups and what I've done through marketing to help propel the brands and the companies. First company is a company called LiveSafe. It's a crime reporting mobile app. Think about if you could create a mobile app and put safety features in it, it does all of that. Came up with it about 5 years ago. Campus shootings were unfortunately a very common occurrence, and the universities were very responsive in adopting my technology. Took me a couple years to build it, no funding, 3-person startup team, a lot of hard work, learning about mobile and tech, and I learned a lot about mobile and tech. And then I just gave it away to some customers for free. And thankfully, I was able to keep making improvements on the product. The university started paying me a small fee, and now I have about 90% of schools in Virginia, every university in DC, and about 200 schools across the country using it, along with military bases and corporations. We also raised $25 million in funding, so I was able to attract a really good team. We attracted our first billionaire advisor, Barry Diller. He owns Match.com and Tinder and Expedia. So he's a billionaire. He joined our board. And that marketing, that branding of having a billionaire and having a great brand like LiveSafe then started attracting other billionaires. I had Hearst Media join the board. They own Shark Tank and all these magazines and channels. Fred Smith, the founder and CEO of FedEx, revolutionary product, he gave us $5 million, joined our board, so he became my second billionaire to join the board. And then Steve Case, the founder of AOL, he invested, another billionaire. And then just a month ago, we had Dave Duffield, the guy who created PeopleSoft and Workday, a technology product. He's the richest billionaire of all of them. He just recently joined our board. So I have 4 billionaire investors with my little crime reporting mobile app based out of Roslyn in Arlington, Virginia. And I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about mobile tech, marketing, raising money, hiring a team, having a great mission in what you're doing with your company. At LiveSafe, we make the world safer. There's a lot of crimes and incidents reported. A lot of criminals are caught through the app. A lot of safety is happening. A lot of peace of mind is being created. And that good has attracted all that great funding and all that great growth. And then a second company, if you want to hit the Try Hungry homepage, after doing LiveSafe for 4 years, I decided to start another company. And I created, inspired by Uber, I created a sharing economy of chefs, and we deliver their food for office catering. So I'm going to maybe click the other Try Hungry link, or click DC. Yeah, that works. So you come to my online ordering, and I've got this network of 30 chefs that you could order from. So it's microeconomy for chefs. Chefs on my platform make $30,000 to $40,000 a month. Most chefs have second and third jobs. It's not really usually not a good income occupation. So very excited to be creating great opportunity for chefs, great healthy food, and then delivering it to DC, Maryland, Virginia offices in the area. Maybe I'll keep going and then we'll do questions at the end. Is that
okay? Just a quick question. You said 30 to 40,000 a month. They make.
Yep.
Each individual chef.
Yeah. A month. Yep. So the company has been around for a year now, and we are at a $6 million revenue run rate. So a year and a half doing the office of catering, we're growing very, very fast. So we just turned on Philadelphia. So if you look there, there's a Philadelphia option. So yeah, so I know a little bit about tech and branding. LiveSafe was my mobile app, great brand. Hungry is my food company. So here to answer every and any question you have about startups. I'm super transparent. I'll share everything that you want to know. So please think of good questions to ask me. But with that, I'll just share some of the background on what I did marketing for each of those companies. So when you guys are presenting at your pitch competition here in a few weeks, is it a few weeks with the rehearsals? Yep. So you want to have a marketing slide. What are you going to put in that marketing slide, right? So there's a lot of different marketing methods. You have to decide for your business what makes the most sense. You don't want to do everything, right? You're a small startup. You have to focus. You can't do social media and email marketing and public relations and PR and newspaper ads and Google ads. So you got to pick and choose what channel makes sense for your business. For LiveSafe, crime reporting mobile app, my buyer was the chief of police on these college campuses. No amount of marketing was going to get to that police chief. So that was very much a sales model. I had to go knock on the doors and go talk to each police chief one-on-one, build trust, and try to get them to buy the product. So one thing that I had to do was build credibility. So credibility is a very important thing. Building a great brand helps sell products. So with LiveSafe, I came up with a really good name that tells you exactly what it does. And then I also surrounded myself with really good advisors that gave us credibility, that people trusted us to be the safety app of their school. So building advisors is super important. That's something you guys as a young startup will need to do very quickly. Ask people you know in your network, your parents know that may have a job in the field that's related to your business, and just adding them to your slide and say, this is my advisor, gives you credibility that you have somewhere to go to get knowledge. And then those advisors aren't going to turn you down. You're playing into their ego. You're saying, hey, can you be an advisor for my new tech startup? Of course they're going to say yes. They want their picture and their bio on your website. So building credibility, building a great brand, super important. And then with Hungry, same thing. We came up with a great name. Hungry.com, I couldn't get that, but my website's tryhungry.com. But I'm marketing Hungry, right? Hungry is the great brand. With that, I wanted to have a mission, just like LiveSafe had a mission. What was Hungry's mission going to be? So our mission is every 2 meals that someone purchases from Hungry, we give a meal back, right? So we've now given back $70,000 worth of meals to the food banks and local area, homeless and those in need, and that's helping build a great brand for Hungry. Right now, every company in the area, when they want to order from Hungry because their employees are telling them, hey, this is a do-good company, this is a mission-oriented company. So do you see how I created a good credibility and built a brand with LiveSafe and Hungry? It was about a good name. It was about building trust, and then being mission-oriented. I bet most of the startups that you guys are going to pitch and present are mission-oriented. You're trying to do some social good, and that just makes it a lot easier. It's a lot easier to hire people. It's a lot easier to get funding. It's a lot easier to get people to help you when you're doing good out there. So even if your product is not a social good right now, think of how it could be. Maybe you're selling a clothing line, right? Maybe proceeds of that clothing line could go to the area that's creating or manufacturing that clothing. So just think about how you could do good, and it just goes a really, really long way. Another thing that we did with LiveSafe and Hungry that worked really well was search engine optimization. First, I'll mention social media, and I'll come back to it. We tried social media for both Hungry and LiveSafe, and it didn't work, right? So I moved that channel aside, and then I focused on SEO. SEO was going to be where we were going to focus. And SEO was, I wanted anyone that was going to search on Google for LiveSafe or Hungry that I want to show up, right? If you want a safety app and you're Googling it, I want to make sure LiveSafe is showing up on the first page. If you're ordering food and you're searching for a new catering company or a new food offering, DC Catering, I want Hungry to show up, right? And so how do you do that? There's a lot of firms and companies that you can pay that will help your SEO. You'll pay them a couple $1,000s a month. They'll help optimize your website. They'll help create blog content for you. But the best thing is, as a startup, you got to do all that yourself. And you can do a really good job of it doing it yourself. So to have really good search engine optimization, you have to have a really good website as number one, right? Have really good content on your website. Use all the keywords that describe your product or that someone would use to search for your product online. It's as simple as that. You've come up with a clothing line. Make sure every word related to clothing is somewhere on your website, searching for clothing, right? There's shoes there, there's belts there. And then, obviously, you guys have heard this a lot, is build a blog. Everyone says, I'll create a blog on my website once my business gets going. We'll do a blog later. No one gets around to building that blog, right? Everybody talks about the blog, but nobody creates it. It takes a lot of effort, right? You got to write an article. You got to find someone else to help you write articles. But that content is golden. When Google is deciding whether to show your website versus somebody else's website, if you've got a couple articles that mentions every keyword that's going to be searched, they're going to show your website versus the site that didn't have a blog, right? So that's one thing to help the SEO. Another thing you could do to help your SEO is submit a sitemap to Google. When you create your website on WordPress or whatever, most people don't know this, you've got to create a sitemap. It's very easy to generate. You could Google how to create or generate a sitemap, and it's a framework or a tree of all the links on your website. And you're telling Google, here's my homepage, and here's all the different links I have on my website. You're making it easy for Google to understand what is in your website. And by providing that sitemap, boom, you're now at the top of search results. So there's like a list of about 10 things that you could do. And you could Google and research articles that help SEO optimization. But that's where a lot of marketing dollars are going now with big companies. They're finally understanding the importance of that. And then shifting to digital marketing. Everyone in here is young. Everyone's dying to put social media marketing on their marketing slide. Sure, do it. It makes sense, but that's good for brand awareness. Not too many people are buying things off Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn. I'm going on there to see what my friends are doing, my family is doing, maybe see what's going on. I'm not going on there to buy something. I'll go to Google to buy something. I go to Amazon to buy something. So social media is really for brand awareness. You want to have it. You want to maintain it. You want it to look good. Your PowerPoint presentation, your social media, and your website are lenses into what the rest of your business looks like, right? If your social media looks really baller, really hot designs, your website looks awesome, your PowerPoint looks like a rock star designer designed it, I might want to invest in you. It looks like you have a good eye. You know what looks good. You know what good product is. You're going to know what good people to hire because you have a good eye. So that stuff is important for brand awareness. So again, if I was creating a marketing slide, I'd probably put something around how I have a great name and a brand. I talk about SEO and how it relates, what keywords you'd focus on to make sure you're showing up on the first page of Google. I would highlight digital marketing strategy as a brand awareness campaign. You're not going to spend millions of dollars or thousands of dollars throwing it on a Facebook ad that gets a million impressions but only gets one person to click to go to your website and actually buy something. So just know how to frame it. Social media is good for brand awareness. But yeah, those are the things that we focused on. LiveSafe in Hungary was SEO, not so much social media other than brand awareness and telling our story. And then the last piece of marketing that really helped us that I just feel lucky about, and it's because I got confidence in it, and hopefully I can give you guys confidence in it, is PR, public relations, getting people to write press articles about you. It is one of the easiest things to do. People just think it's hard. And the power of it is amazing. If someone sees something written about your business, they think it's like the hottest thing out there. Wow, this guy is in Fox 5 local news or in the Washington Post. The truth is, all you have to do is craft and write that article, or get someone to craft a really nice article and send it to that author that writes about food or writes about safety, and they will post and write your article and rewrite your article. It's that easy. Amalia, if you don't mind, maybe go to the press page on Hungary. Yeah, there you go. I'm this little startup in Roslyn, Arlington. None of you had ever heard of me. And look at all this press I got, right? There's nothing special about it. I just tell the story well, and I try to tell it a lot, right? And I send it to the writers, and I got all this press. And if you go to LiveSafe, they get press every single day. And it's just a matter of knowing that it can be done and then putting the effort to get it done. So PR is another great way. Investors probably don't want to hear about PR in your investor pitch because they don't think it's that easy and it's a one-time thing. It happens and then it goes away, and that's true. So just be careful about that one. So don't highlight PR. You're going to be in the news. You're going to be on Shark Tank, and that's how you're going to blow up. It's hard to tell someone that. You actually have to make it happen for them to believe you that it can be done. But yeah, with that, I think that's been 10, 15 minutes. Is that? Yep. So with that, I'd love to turn it over to questions. It can be marketing related, which is what this workshop's about, but I'm happy to take other questions related to your pitch, competition, or business. Yep.
What's a good way to do brand awareness if you're like me and social media pisses you off?
Hire someone else to do it. So a lot of things piss me off too. There's people that piss me off in my office, and I just don't talk to them, and I make sure someone else does. One of my strengths is that I got partners. I didn't do all this great stuff on my own. I had 2 co-founders, and they deserve as much credit as I do. I wouldn't tell them that into their face, but they do things that I'm not good at. Let's say fundraising or micromanaging people to hit their sales numbers or whatever it may be. So hire people and recruit people to help you. And if you're a one-person startup, it is very, very hard to survive. It's very, very hard. Start off one person in this competition is okay. As your business grows, look to add a co-founder. It's the only way you'll survive. If you're a one-man shop or one-woman shop, it's a lot of hard work. And unless you have someone pushing you or doing the things that you're not good at, because we're not all good at everything, even though everyone in this room probably thinks we are, because we have big egos. That's why we're doing startups. We think we can do it, which is good. You have confidence. But you have to be humble enough, have to be steady contrast here, to know that you need to bring other people to help you. So don't do it. You will suck at it, right? So find someone else to do it. More questions? Yes, ma'am.
How did you find your partners? Like, did you just, were they friends already? You guys have an idea, and you share an idea and go on a business together? Or was it just people that you networked with and ended up finding them, I guess?
It was the first and the second. So when you first come up with an idea, you sometimes you want to hide it. You're worried someone's going to steal your idea. But the truth is, someone's willing to steal your idea. They might be a good co-founder, right? If they're willing to go do your idea, make that person your partner. So my advice is share your idea with as many people as possible, and that's what I did. And I just saw whoever got excited and passionate about it, I would want them to be my team member. Now, early on, that's all I could get. It's who I know, right? I'm telling my friends and family, whoever's excited, you're in. Who cares? Bring them on. Give them equity. Bring them on, and you'll learn. And if they don't work out, you'll drop them, right? Later over time, as I got wiser, I shouldn't just bring in whoever gets excited, right? I should network and find the person that really has the qualities that I'm missing, right? If I'm not a good fundraiser or a good marketing person, let me go hire or bring in a co-founder who's good at those things. But it's very important to find a co-founder, especially while you're young. Test out with different people. I'm working with my brother. I'm also working with someone who came and spoke at my business class, and I went and interned for him, and now he's been my business partner for the last few companies. So yeah, good question. Next. Yes, sir.
When you were doing the sales model pitch to the schools, how many times did you get yes, or how many times when you first started off did you get no?
Yeah, great question. I got no's a lot, to answer your question. But that that's what separates the weak from the strong, right? If you get 10 no's and you quit, that person's dead. That startup's over. And if that person keeps going, that's the startup that survives, right? You only quit when you fail. If you keep going, which I did, I started getting to the yeses, and I'll tell you how I got to the yeses. And then back to this being a marketing workshop, marketing isn't the way that's really going to propel your business to be successful. It's really sales. Marketing, again, is brand awareness, a lot of great things you could do to get out there and help sales go faster. But sales model is a good model as well, where you got to call people and hire sales reps to call people, let people know about your product, go knock on doors. That's the way you sell product. It's going there and you have to build trust with people and get them to buy. And a Facebook ad's not going to build trust and get someone to buy your brand new product, right? So it's a sales model has to be part of your marketing plan almost, right? If you're really going to have revenue. So yes, lots of no's when you're raising money, lots of no's when you're trying to get people to use your product. So the way I did it is don't come off desperate. After a while, I figured out don't be desperate. Play it really cool, almost create FOMO, and then I also create fear of missing out. And then be passionate about it. My name's Shy. It's short for Cheyenne, but everyone as a kid would call me Shy because I was so shy. But when I built my startups, I'm just so passionate about my product, I can talk about it forever, right? You guys, some of you are probably shy normally, but when it comes to your startup, you can talk about it forever. So that's how sales is. When I would go sell these police chiefs, they would look at me as this 20-something-year-old kid and be like, what does this guy know about safety and security? So I learned a few sales tricks. One was be super passionate. I would be so excited about my product. They didn't even know what I was selling. They were like, I want it, right? They were just excited. I made them feel good. You guys will probably forget half the stuff I tell you, but you might remember how it made you feel at certain points that connected with something, and then you remember those things. So it's how you make people feel. And then another thing about sales that I learned is when you're presenting, you're excited to just talk about your company and I've got an hour meeting with you. Let me talk an hour about myself. That's the wrong thing to do. When you're in a sales meeting, you want to let the other person, the person you're selling to, talk for the first 30 minutes. I've met with the president of a school and I said, tell me about all your safety issues. And she went on and on about everything that could go on in a campus. And then after she went on for 35 minutes, 40 minutes, she said, I want your product. And I didn't even demo the product to her. But again, if you get them to talk, I built trust with her. I listened to her. She trusted me, and it worked. It's a good question.
Do you mind sharing how you built some of those skills in terms of selling?
Yep, sure. It was just lots of practice.
When you first started practicing?
Yep.
Back
Yep, sure. When I was in college, my parents were entrepreneurial. I wasn't really into it growing up, living in my parents' home. When I went to college, I went to James Madison University. It started kicking in. I started being entrepreneurial like you guys, right? I wanted to start my own startup or be a part of programs like this. And then I started my first startup, and it was the best experience in the world. Launching a startup while you're in college, it's a small environment here at MC. It's not hard to market. You could go put flyers on all these buildings and everyone was going to know about your website. You could go chalk up campus. You could get your professors to send out emails to the class. So if you start a company while you're here, you'll build a lot of confidence. So that's where I got my confidence. While I was in college doing a startup, I still went to class. I still got good grades. But on the side, instead of having as much fun as some other people were having, I was focused on my startup, and that was motivating to me. I was making money. I was selling T-shirts. I was doing all kinds of things that you could think of in a college environment where you could make money. I was doing it, and it just gave me a lot of confidence. It gave me confidence that I could do this. And then when I got out of college, I'm like, I'm gonna go start a startup, and it failed because the real world is much harder. But again, being in this environment, you have all the resources that you guys have. You can get advice. Your professors would be so proud of you guys, would be dying to help you, give you marketing advice, sales advice, intro you to other entrepreneurs or investors. And so my career has been startups, but then when I started to start my own startup in the real world, I failed. So I said, I need to be a part of a bigger company. What does it mean to be a part of a big company? So I went and worked at a big company, and I saw what it meant to be successful and to scale. And then I decided to go join a successful startup. So not my own, watch someone else do it successfully from beginning to end. So I got that learning process. And then I went and did my own. And again, I still wouldn't be able to do it on my own successfully. So I brought in people that knew how to do it and were seasoned. And I gave away pieces of the pie. If I owned 100% of my company and it doesn't become anything, it's worthless. I gave away a lot of my company, and now I own a little piece of it. But now LiveSafe is valued at $80 million, the last valuation a month ago. So it's worth something, right? So right now your equity is worth nothing because your company has zero revenue. You don't even have a product. Give away that equity to as many people as possible. Build a team and just learn. Learn how to do it. If it doesn't work out with equity, you can do vesting. I'm going to give you 5% to be my CTO and my co-founder, It vests over 3 years. That means you get the 5% if you work with me for 3 years. If after 2 months he stops showing up to meetings and he's partying, he's not working, which is going to happen with half the people you pick, I can take back your 5% and say, sorry, you didn't work for me for 3 years. I get all my 5% back. So give away your equity. You can do it in a manner where you can get it back if it doesn't work out. Don't be scared to do that. That's your money right now. Nobody's going to invest in you guys until you've burned out your credit cards. You got mom and dad's money. You got friends and family to invest in you. It's all stages. Then you get an angel investor, give you tens of $20,000. Then you get to a venture capital. So unless you go through all those stages, no one's ever going to give you guys money. So the only money you have is your equity to help grow your business. Great question. Yes, sir.
How did you like come up with Hungry? If you have DoorDash, Postmates, Uber Eats, and every other big company competition, how did you like?
Yeah, great idea, great question. The food delivery space is very crowded, and that's what every investor is telling us. So it's very hard to raise money for us. But what's cool about what I created, I'm not delivering any food from a restaurant. I'm delivering food from chefs. It's a brand new model. I'm totally flipping the whole model on its head. So because it's a new business model, hopefully I can get smart investors to be excited and see that it's different. Delivering from a restaurant, I'm taking a $10 sandwich from Cheesecake Factory and delivering it to the consumer. I have to pay the delivery guy, $4 or $5. The restaurants, DoorDash is not making any money off that. The margins are very little for consumer delivery. When I came up with Hungry, it was delivering from the chef to your house, consumer. When I came up with LiveSafe, it was a safety app for consumers to report crimes. Consumer, there's not that much. It's hard to get marketing, get out there for consumer. I switched it to a B2B model. Sell to the offices, or with LiveSafe to the schools. That's where I could get money. So when Amazon orders from us, let me use Microsoft. Microsoft Office orders food from us. We pick it up from a commercial kitchen where the chef is cooking, and we deliver it to Amazon. And average order size is $1,000 because it's for 50 people. It's an office. Now I'm making a 50% profit margin. So on that $1,000 order, Hungry Me, I get to keep 50% of that. So it's a much better business model than DoorDash, Postmates, but they're going for the big consumer play. They're worth billions of dollars. If they throw lots of money at it, one or two of those guys will survive, and they'll be able to raise their prices and make money in the future.
So the chefs have to like invest in a commercial kitchen.
Yep, and it's very nominal. It's like a WeWork for chefs. They go rent a little kitchen unit for like $500 for a month. It's nominal. So it's very empowering to chefs. Commercial kitchens have become very popular in DC. There's 4 of them: Taste Labs, Union Kitchen, Frontier Kitchen, Mess Hall. The food trucks kind of led the revolution of the commercial kitchen space, but they're WeWorks for chefs, and they're super low cost. Chef tells me what their cost is, and then I do a markup. I basically do 100% markup, and then I end up with a 50% profit. Yes, ma'am.
How do you attract your chefs or the people that work for this company?
Yeah, good question. You got to build a great brand. You got to have great media presence, right? It attracts people who want to come work for you. You have to have a great mission. You have to have great core values within the company. What's the culture there? Why would I want to go work for Hungry? Are they going to treat me well? Are they positive? Will they allow me to grow? Do they do good in the community? So being mission oriented, having great core values helps attract really good people. But on the supply side, getting chefs has not been a problem. We've had over 1,000 chefs in the DC, Maryland, Virginia apply to be on the Hungry platform. So I have no shortage of supply of chefs because they're all looking for more income. They want to brand themselves. If you hover over the chef's picture, you get their bio. You hover over the menu item, you see the entree. So the chef gets to tell their story. So there's a lot of benefits for them. So we've had no issue. So our problem now is just the customer side, the demand side. Yep. Good question. Yes, sir.
What would you say the step-by-step guide is? Like a very basic template of what we should be doing when we're starting out completely new. We just have an idea.
Yep. Very quickly, first is I'd come up with a really good name. Name is important, and your name can change later, but it gives your idea wings. If you guys go around now and quickly pitch me to your startup, and you don't give me the name of your company, when you guys come back and pitch in a few weeks or a month, I might forget your company. But if you gave me a name, I'm going to remember you. Right, so it makes it memorable. It makes it easier to tell the story to folks. It gives your idea wings. So start with that, and then second, I'd start working on a PowerPoint deck. Get everything in your head onto a PowerPoint presentation. Sometimes business plans become dated as soon as you write them, but a PowerPoint you can keep updating the marketing slide every time an idea comes here or you get feedback from someone. Keep updating the product slide that shows what your product's going to look like. Create an awesome deck that talks about your problem, your product, your advisors, your go-to-market plan, sales and marketing, all that good stuff. And keep updating that. And then keep pitching that to as many people as possible. See who's going to be your co-founder. See if it's even a good idea, right? If no one's excited about your idea, maybe it's not a good idea, right? So maybe you should work on the next idea. Keep coming up with new ideas. So market validation would be the next step. Like talk to as many people about your idea and see if it's a good idea. Just because you came up with it doesn't mean it's a good idea. And they don't understand it because you weren't able to articulate it. No, it might be a bad idea. If it's a good idea, Google it, and if other people have come up with it, that's probably a good idea then. Run with that. Some people Google their idea and see someone else came up with it and said, oh man, I'm not doing this. Someone else already did this. That's the worst thing to do. That means the market has validated that idea is a good idea. When I Googled crime reporting apps, there was none out there. I was like, shoot, this is a bad idea. Nobody wants a crime reporting mobile app. Am I creating a snitch app? Like, this is terrible. Nobody wants to work with me on this. But I kept working on it for a little bit, and then after a few months, there was like 5 of them in the App Store. I almost feel like God's like a venture capitalist. He like plants the idea in multiple people's heads and see who's going to make it. So when you came up with that idea, someone on the West Coast came up with it at the same time. And it's inspiring. You want competition. You got McDonald's and Burger King right across the same street. There's plenty of people. There's plenty of customers to go around. So it's just about executing, creating a great product, and then know what your demographic is. Are you targeting just Montgomery County? Are you targeting just DC? And be super targeted. The more targeted you are, the better chance of success you have. If your idea is broad for everyone in the country in the U.S., it's good luck, right? You got to start out small. You got to make sure it works. So with Hungary, we started here in DC. We got to a $6 million revenue run rate, and now we went and turned on Philadelphia because it's working. 3 months into Philadelphia, it's going really well. So what do I need to do now? I need to go raise money and launch in 20 cities because it's working. Right? So you need to start somewhere. We figured out the playbook, and then you got to write the playbook of what's working. What do I need to do to hire good salespeople? What do I need to do for marketing in DC? And then how do I do that in every new city? And then it's all about good product. You keep iterating on your product, get feedback, make your product better and better and better, right? You build something, keep making it better. You're not done. You keep making it better. The most problem is most people build their product and then they say they're done, and then they fail because you didn't keep iterating. We have such big egos. We create this masterpiece and we're like, we're done. No, you have to be a sponge and keep making it better and better. Now that you built what you think is the best thing, go to your customers, give it to them, let them use it for months, and keep tweaking it, keep making it better. And as investors and people around you see that progress, then they'll be interested. And then they need to see revenue. You got to figure out how to give it away to people for free to get people using it so you're not dead yet. And then you got to see how you make improvements, and then you go back and try to get them to pay you. And if that happens, now you're making revenue, then you can do fundraising, or maybe you don't need to do fundraising. You just grow out a team. And those are the kind of the very simplified top 6 steps there. Yes?
Thank you.
How did you do the accounting part when you first started? Like, was all the revenue just going to you, or did you have a separate savings account to
Yeah.
continue?
I was very disorganized as an entrepreneur. I did not have good accounting. So I had to very quickly, when we started raising money, get a CFO, get someone who's in charge of the money, an accountant or controller or CFO, whatever you want to call them. And my CFO was part of the venture capital firm. So then they really trusted it because they were given the money and they were helping manage it. So if someone's going to give you money, they really need to trust that you know how to do the books, you're an honest person, you're credible, you're not going to put it in your own bank account and use it to go for your own personal expenses. So yeah, that's important. But early on, you don't have much revenue. You do it yourself. You get QuickBooks, you get Excel spreadsheets, and you just keep track of everything. You have a bank account. All the records are there in the bank account if you're using the same card for one of your transactions. But you want to keep clean records so that if your business does become successful, someone can look at that easily and it not be a big mess. But even if it is a mess, like it was for me, they figured it out and we moved on. So don't stress over that. Like stress over having a really good product and putting together a good team and being able to do the entrepreneurial thing. Like, if you want to do really good accounting, go be an accountant, right? So figure out like figure out your product, figure out your team, figure out your mission. Another similar question is legal. People are like, I need to go get this patent. I need to go get a trademark. Sure, go do all that. It's fun. It's a great learning experience. You should do it. With LiveSafe, I got 30 claims, 2 different patents issued to me. And when I was fundraising, it looked good. It looked like no one else could come do it or create it. But with tech, anyone could come tweak, change the feature, change anything, and my patent is worthless. So it helped me in the early days. With Hungry, I could create so many patents, all the cool stuff that we're creating, but it's a distraction for me. Like, I'm just going to focus on my product and grow the business. Maybe one day later, when we have more money, we can focus and go get patents. But don't worry about the legal stuff. Like, you have to incorporate as a company. You want to operate in a legal fashion. You never ever want to break the law. But like, let me go spend a bunch of money on a lawyer and a bunch of legal Zoom fees. Like, you don't need to do that at the beginning. Like, make sure you're still interested in your business 6 months from now before you go and spend all that money. Yes.
What would you say is your biggest challenge as an entrepreneur in your startups? The thing that keeps you up at night.
Yep. One big challenge early on is just it's a lot of hard work. It's very tiring, so you want to quit all the time. You have to be really crazy to do startups. It has to be in your blood. Maybe your parents are entrepreneurial. Maybe you're first generation Americans here, so you're like, you want to be successful. You have that drive, but it's just a lot of hard work. So those co-founders are super important. So it's crazy. It's a crazy amount of hard work. But if you do it, you can be successful. That's what's great about this country. If you do work hard, you definitely have a real chance of succeeding. But you have to do the real hard work. And then the other part of that, I got help from my co-founders. So that's what keeps me up at night, is hiring bad people. When you interview someone, they tell you the best things. Of course, they're going to give you the references that are going to say the best things. But then once they come into the office after the first week or even after the first day, their attitude sucks. They're totally different than what you interviewed. You spend all these fees to recruit this person and get them trained and set up. So hiring people, I think, is one of my most important jobs, making sure we're hiring A players so it becomes sustaining. Hiring is just super important. That's what keeps me up. We just have to hire really good people. And it's really hard to find really good people. So that's why having a good mission and doing good things as a company so you can attract good people, because it's really hard to find good people. So with LiveSafe, majority of the early people that started that company have had some crime happen to them. Maybe their family was in law enforcement. My co-founder was a Virginia Tech shooting survivor. She was shot 3 times, most wounded survivor. Everyone that was attracted was very mission oriented. They believed in it. Like, they weren't doing it for the money. They were just so excited to be there and work there and stay there till late. So at Hungry, same thing. It was like figuring out our mission, making sure everyone understands it, making sure we're upholding to it, and then making sure we're hiring good people. So any questions about your own startups? You guys are starting your own companies. You're putting together these presentations and deck. What's specific to that can I answer to make sure you guys have confidence? My one feedback or advice on that is be well prepared. Like, the more prep you do, the better you're going to do. The more you try to wing it and let me finish my presentation last minute just to get it on the due date, you're not going to win. It's not going to go well. The more you practice, it's going to be so comfortable to you. It's going to be so easy. You're not going to be nervous. It's the same presentation, right? It's going to be the same 10 slides you're going to be presenting. So my advice is just practice it. Practice in the mirror. Practice to yourself. Practice to your friends. Practice to your parents. Practice, practice, practice. Nothing beats preparation. You had a question?
So how do you minimize risk? For example, hungry. Somebody orders food and they get sick.
So initially my idea was people could cook from their homes. I was totally going Uber. Like, you could cook from your home, anybody could cook, and we would deliver it to your house. And I was doing it. I did it for a good 6 months. And then my legal fees started building up, and I was like, maybe this isn't a smart path right now. Let's do the commercial kitchens, and then the office catering made sense because it was more money to be made in it. But I learned a lot about food safety and health. We never had anyone get sick with our food, but just trying to do cool things where people cook out of anywhere. With LiveSafe, we had to build a product that was very reliable, secure, would work over time. You're reporting crimes. It's a smart 911. You could call campus security from wherever you are. They could track you, find you. It had to work. It had to be reliable. So we spent a lot of money to do that, and we cared about it. And with Hungry, we wanted to make sure people weren't going to get sick. Food safety was important, right? I come from the safety world, so food safety, I'm the guy for it. We came up with an awesome inspection of your kitchen or commercial kitchen, better than a restaurant or better than the county, state department, or health department could do. What if you could monitor kitchens with a live video feed and call up the chef and say, hey, we're doing a live inspection right now. Can you turn on your FaceTime, right? Well, think about when they do inspections right now, they let the restaurants know sometimes and they clean up. But what if you do a live inspection with FaceTime? So there's a lot of cool things that tech and us young folks can come up with that could make food safety a lot more safer and a lot more exciting. Now, thankfully, I don't have to do any of that. Our chefs are working out of certified kitchens, so they are all licensed. They have food handlers licensed. So there's a whole number of protocols. We took it seriously, and we continue to take it seriously. To answer your question, I know there are a lot of extra stuff out there too. I get really excited, guys. It's all about energy, guys. Energy.
Can you talk about your market research? Like for Hungry, how did you know there are demands, and how did you know how many chefs would be interested in it?
Yeah, good question. So market research early on was you just kind of got to create it and try to get it out there so that people can actually use it and give you feedback. Do they want it or not? Definitely did surveys beforehand too, right? That's what you guys should be doing now. Create little surveys, and you're going around campus getting feedback, and then you can come back with great stats. 80% of people on campus said they would buy my T-shirt, or 90% said they would pay $100 a month for this service. So definitely do market research. Get out there. With LiveSafe, I had people on my team that I hired would go speak with students every day on Georgetown University's campus. They would go around, give away gift cards, and get feedback on the app, and keep building the app that students wanted. And we did that for months and months until I built the perfect mobile safety app for students. Then I spent a whole year meeting with police chiefs and building the command dashboard where they want all the data to come in. And I built the perfect tool for them. So I just spent time with them and kept doing that. With Hungry, we put out a job posting for chefs. And again, we had 700 chefs apply in like a 4-month period. So it was like, okay, demand is good, right? We had to go all the way out there and try it, and then we saw that it was there.
So wait, if they apply, does that mean you hire them after you check that?
We try their food in the office, so we get to eat their food. Amalia knows that.
Amazing.
That was the cool thing about working at Hungry. You get lunch almost every other day. And if we don't like your food, we give feedback back to the chef. If he doesn't do it, then off the platform. There's really no much room for patience of it being really high quality. You're feeding an office of 50 or 100 people. You can't mess up the food. It's got to be perfect. So our chefs are former White House chef, French embassy chefs. We have James Beard nominees. We have a 3-time CHOP champion. We have the current Wizards and Caps chef cooking on our platform. We have Pitbull chef cooking on our platform. We have Will Smith's former chef in Philly cooking on our platform. Jay-Z and Beyonce's personal chef has been an advisor of mine. I gave him some equity, made him an advisor, gave him some equity for a whole year. Just let us sit there asking for feedback. A month ago, he's like, Shai, you mind if I pitch Hungry to Jay-Z and Beyonce and see if they'd be interested? They own a couple restaurants, and they got this drink that they invested. So my brother, my co-founder, he is in LA, 6 p.m. He's meeting with Jay-Z and his business partner. We gave him a one-pager a month ago. His chef presenting. He's like, this is interesting. What are they going to do with my money? And then today at 6 p.m., 3 o'clock LA time, they're having the meeting. So positive energy. Everybody say a quick prayer. So that would be huge, right? If I got Jay-Z, now I can retire, right? There's nothing else. So hopefully that goes. If it doesn't go well, I'll probably keep telling people about the Jay-Z story for a couple weeks. It's cool. But I'll still tell people his chef is my advisor.
I have a question. If your business idea is a services like transportation, what could be the best model, like the best type of marketing for this type of?
Sure. For a services model, you said?
Yeah.
Pitch me your idea. What is your idea, real quick?
My idea is about transportation. I would like to have solar buses, and then I would like to know, okay, like
is the best way to market this type of business?
So a travel agency. So
No, it's not travel. Like I would like
transportation
to,
is always sorry.
yeah,
Trans-
it's solar buses in my country, not here.
Mm.
In my country.
Gotcha. Anybody have an answer for that? Go ahead.
I think she said solar, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So that could be like a thing they talk about. It's green. It's helping the environment. It's cheaper. They could focus on.
Yep. So you're right. So I would really highlight the whole mission aspect. I would make your whole pitch about the mission and the good you're doing, it being sustainable and green. Right? Is that what it is? Solar transportation. Huh? So that's pretty cool. I would definitely research what Elon Musk is doing and all the underground transportation stuff he's doing. There's something you can pick up that he's done in marketing that, right? He's gotten great PR around it, right? So I think PR would be good for you because it's a mission oriented and a good thing that you're doing. So PR might be a great marketing path. And then who are your customers? They're people, students. Yeah. So I would marketing on a campus is just like it would be marketing here on a campus, right? So if you were to get a word out here at MCV, what would you do? You would use the bulletin boards. You would use the email listservs. You would attend some of the events or the common area quad events or the student center type stuff. Maybe get into the fraternities or the sororities. If there's different groups on campus that are big that you could be a part, that you could make it a part of. Hopefully that's helpful.
For a related question, our idea is also based on college campuses. We're basically creating a scooter rental service for students across big campuses, so they can just rent a scooter from like their dorm room, go to class, drop it off at a station, kind of like the city bikes. What is the best way to approach marketing that both to the university because they have to accept it and to the students afterwards?
Yeah, that's a good idea. You don't want to make the university upset, so you kind of want their permission before you do things.
Exactly.
But sometimes you want to be entrepreneurial too and test the market with the students too and ask for forgiveness later. So the folks in the back, you're not listening. At JMU, I came up with a site that I wanted to sell T-shirts, and I would put content on and sell T-shirts. So the site was jmaddie.com. So the school is James Madison University. I came up with J Maddie. What a cool name for the school, right? So J Maddie's the T-shirt, and I've sold tens of thousands of dollars of these T-shirts. I did a pink one with the Y was a martini glass that every female on campus bought. It was awesome. But I chalked up the entire campus with my URL. That was before you could get permission to chalk in a small area. I chalked up the entire campus. I wrote it on the trash cans, on the doors, and the university called me, and they were pissed off. And they said, "You can't do this. This is vandalism." I said, checking the weather, it looks like it's going to rain tomorrow, so I'll start cleaning it now, but I think it's going to get washed away tomorrow. And they were pissed. And thankfully, it rained the next day, and I didn't get in any trouble. And then a couple of weeks later, the university came out with guidelines where you could chalk only in the common areas, the certain designated areas. But you got to do stuff like that. You just got to, you're a college kid. What's a creative thing you could do on campus? So my last big marketing idea, the best one that I want you guys to write down, is come up with a creative way to market your product, right? I'm going to give you some ideas, right? Forget about, let me just talk about social media and SEO and PR. Come up with a creative marketing idea, right? So let me give you some good ideas. When I was thinking college campuses, I think it was Zappos. Zappos went to a conference, and in the this is kind of gross, in the urinals they threw their Zappos.com little stickers. So everyone's in the bathroom at the conferences because you need bathroom breaks, right? Everyone goes to the bathrooms. Everyone's seeing these Zappos.com things. That's genius, right? In the urinal where you have to look. Herb Keller, CEO and founder of Southwest Airlines. At first, it was a Dallas, Texas-based airline, and they were just battling with other Texas airlines. And at one point, they were about to go out of business. And you know what he did? He decided to give away a free bottle of alcohol to everybody who got on a Southwest flight. How smart is that? He figures out, this is $1 million marketing cost. This is what we're going to spend on marketing. We're going to give away a free bottle of scotch or liquor. And they beat out the competitor, and look, they're still around, and an awesome company. So I stole an idea from similar to that. At Hungary, I just came up with this idea a month ago. we're going to give a free lunch to every office admin who orders from us. It's the office manager in the office who's ordering for the 100 people or the executive team. They're usually not a part of the lunch. They get to miss out on the cool lunch. We're now going to surprise them every time and say, hey, here's a special box lunch just for you. And they're going to order every single time from us because every time they order from Hungry, they're going to get what? A free lunch. Right? So think of what creative idea you could do with your product where maybe you could bundle it with another product and get it out there, or do something like that where you're giving away something for free. Bundling a product, AOL. AOL got big. Internet came out, but people were scared of the internet. It's crazy for us to think, but people didn't want to get on the internet. There's only a few things you could do. There wasn't much you could do on the internet. What did they do? They installed AOL on every computer. They made a deal with Microsoft and Apple, and every computer that went out had AOL installed on it, right? So that was your internet. You were forced to use that to explore and go on the internet. So think of where you could package your product to someone else who already has distribution, and now you're not doing any more marketing. Someone else has got your product going out there. So you come up with a great marketing idea, and I've done my job here. I think we got just a few more minutes, and maybe just a couple more questions.
Yeah,
Is that okay?
just like 2-3 questions.
All right, we'll do 3 questions. Yes, sir. Great question. I am the product guy, not the tech guy. If I could go back in time, I have 2 daughters. I would, a 7-year-old and 1-year-old. I'm going to make them code. Go code right now. Go take coding classes. It just helps you how to think, and it's super easy. Super easy, and you're creating. You get to create things that makes you feel good. Some of you are creating T-shirts or whatever, designing things. When you create as a human being, you feel really good. So coding, I recommend it. Unfortunately, I don't know how to code, so I have to pay people who are smarter than me to code. So every time I have to do a startup, I have to use my credit cards to pay somebody to help me build a prototype, where if I could do it myself, I could create prototypes and not have to keep bringing in people. But I'm a product guy, so if you don't want to be the tech guy, let me tell you what I do. I love product. I come up with the idea. I write it up like a Word doc. I write all my ideas out. I create a PowerPoint of the idea. I want to create a mobile app. It's going to have these crime incident icons to report. It's going to have this button to hit send, and I draw it on a piece of paper. I wireframe it. That's the next step, wireframe. On a piece of paper, you draw it out, and now there's tools where you can build your mobile app or design it with these easy-to-use tools on the internet. So it doesn't even have to be a hand drawing anymore. And then I work with a really good designer and create an awesome design of that wireframe. And I give that awesome design to a developer. It's basically all the way thought out because the whole design is there. And then I write up, this feature should do this, it should turn green, this should turn off the app. And I just write those rules. And I give it to a developer, they build it, and then I test it to make sure it works the way I did. And this process is super fun, it's super compelling, you guys should all try it. Irfan back there, he's internet hungry, he's a student here, and he came over just to learn, and he did product wireframing and started running my product for me for months. I just showed up to work and act like I was working, he was doing it all for me, and he was just an intern. He came there a couple times, learned how to wireframe and do product, and he was putting out awesome product for me, and I was looking like a rock star. So that's how we do it. 2 more questions. I know I saw. All right, 1 more question. And we're done.
Yeah, if we could all just give a big
Awesome, that was fantastic. We just got word that Shai is actually going to bring Jay-Z to the actual competition. So, but seriously, good luck with that.
He doesn't even know I exist. Thank you.
So, everything works out with that.
So on behalf of the Raptor Tank team, we want to present you with this gift as a thank you for helping out so much with Raptor
Thank you
Tank.
guys, appreciate it guys.
Can we just thank Shai?
Yeah.
And you guys are welcome to share my contact info, but if you guys want to write it down, my email address is shy, S-H-Y, @tryhungry.com. Happy to shoot back any advice you want via email if you want. And then you guys are welcome to ask Amalia about her internship experience.
Let me just clarify one thing, and sorry, Shai. Shai is like
That's right.
overly helpful and nice about helping our students. He even hired
That's right.
them, which is amazing. Because you're part of this competition, and he's gonna be one
Okay,
of the
don't do
judges
that.
on November 28th. You gotta wait till after the competition, but then you can use that email all you want. Okay?
I will ignore your email.
We're gonna ask him politely to ignore it until after, because it would be a shame.
Yep.
It's one of the new things we're experimenting with now that the
makes
about
sense. That makes sense.
why you got Q&A time. Sorry, Sean.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
I just
Don't send me an
wanted to
email or
cover
else I will
everything.
never talk to you again.
Okay, so quickly, I would just like to have Elderson come up. You might have seen him. He was in the bag. He's been at all the workshops, but he hasn't made like an official commitment to Raptor Tank until a few days ago. So we would just like to give him the same opportunity that you all had to introduce himself and give a little pitch about his idea as well. So if we could just welcome Eldon.
So, hi, my name is Elderson. I'm a student here at Montgomery College, obviously. I'm a business major, and my idea that I have in mind is to create a driving school app. So everything that you would do or learn through driving school, everything just at the tip of your phone. At the tip of your phone, you can do it anywhere you want on the bus. Make it, so it's convenient for you. Make it so it's convenient for you. And it's not just for students, but I'm also planning on making it so that you can do this in every language as well, because we don't have any driving schools in Spanish or French, and a lot of people in Maryland, I can say, for example, don't speak English. So I think that's one of the issues I'm trying to address, and that's my idea.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, so thanks to everyone for coming. We're hitting the home stretch. We have next week, and then we have November 7th, which is going to be Amalia and I, and then we'll have the dress rehearsal, where you guys will compete for the finalists on the 28th. So it's exciting. Things are coming together, and we hope you guys are enjoying the workshops, learning from them, and taking a lot out of them. So we hope you really enjoyed today's. And yeah, thanks for coming.
Definitely. We'll also be sending out a video, a follow-up with the video attached and then anything else. If you haven't had the chance to sign the sign-in sheet, can you please do so?
One more thing to keep in mind, so the rehearsal day qualifiers, what date?
November 7th.
20.
November
14.
That's soon, right? So Shai asked, like, how soon is this come? It's soon. And
Yeah.
if you start building a deck anyway for your business as a good tip, you really want to start working on that presentation so you can be like fine-tuning it when Gabe and Amalia are doing the presentation tips and tricks. Don't wait, because you're going to find yourself in that situation where you're unprepared, and Shai just told you to be very prepared. So get started.
Even if you have like something that you're not sure about yet, if you know you want to talk about it, you can create like a blank slide or two, so you know you got to fill that area in. But starting the process now is going to help you get ready sooner, so you can practice more and be on point when you're at the
rehearsal day. And help you figure out what might be missing. Maybe some of those surveys Shai recommended you do, that kind of information.
Real quick, the MBI Cafe has provided us with brownies.
Oh, yeah.
So please help yourselves
Yes.
before you head out.
Definitely
Yeah.
take some to go too if you want to.
Friends and family and
Yeah.
everyone. Laura, do you have a question?
Yeah.
You want to go?
You want to go? How long should the deck be? And you have 5 minutes to present at the competition day. I highly recommend you build your deck focusing on that time frame. So some people say a couple minutes for each slide that you're spending. Maybe it's only be 10 seconds on that slide, but be mindful of that when you're making your deck. 50 slides is too much, right?
Okay. And the stuff that goes on the deck, do we just need to look at the criteria sheet we got?
You can use that criteria sheet you got, but the